Hello everybody, how's it going? Voice of Frenzy Online, and today I wanted to record a short video message to everybody in Tekken 8 community, and I wanted to make this message specifically for bigger content creators, people who make a lot of entertainment and educational content for Tekken 8, so people like Mayman Sui, King J, VDX, Moonsault Slayer, people have the real influence and the real say and the real effect on the future of Tekken 8, because it is safe to say that we all love Tekken 8, we all want what's best for the game, but right now this game is progressively going down the hill, and this is very scary, this is very sad at the same time, because this is time for us to stand up for ourselves as the community, because if we don't, no one else will. Ever since the release of Tekken 8, the developers have only proven to us that they are extremely stubborn in their pursuit of very aggressive, very oppressive, very mashy gameplay, and that's very sad because this has damaged this game significantly. And as actually Mayman said in one of his recent videos, which in my opinion was very well worded, that this game has everything to it to become not just the best Tekken game, but to become the best fighting game, right? Like, it has everything to it. It has excellent graphics, it has great menu, it has great practice options, it has great Tekken 8 educational modes, for you to just become really good at the game. But the thing is, the developers right now, they're just hardcore persistent about the offensive gameplay. And just imagine we as the community, we're in the car right now, and I don't know, Nakatsu, Murray, or whoever is in charge, is now at the steering wheel, and one of them is just, pressing hardcore on the offense pedal, and as the community, we're just driving down the hill. And instead of just not even hitting the brake, but they're not even putting their leg away from the offense pedal, but they keep on pressing it even harder, and we just keep on going down the hill. And that's really bad because, in my opinion, as the community, we have voiced our dissatisfaction pretty well, right? We've done lots of petitions, we have voiced our dissatisfaction on Twitter, which was the main communication channel, with the developers, which has not proven to be a very good communication way, but at the same time, the developers have shown to us that they don't really care. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just saying how it is. And after Season 2, the developers, instead of taking a more defensive approach to the game, going into a more defensive direction with the game, they seem to want to pursue with their business goals, right? Which is getting more casuals into the game. More casuals means bigger income, and they're fine with this even if it means to dump the game down as much as possible for the casuals so that they can have more fun, and they don't care about the legacy players as much, unfortunately. But the thing is, Tekken 7 was founded on passion, it was founded on the genuine love for the series by Harada, who with the most minimal budget was able to create such a great Tekken game, right? While Tekken 8 is founded on business goals. And that's how I feel. I don't know how about you guys. So the thing is that we need to start wondering, at what point will the developers finally start listening to us? At what point? Because again, there was this fallacy after Season 2 of the developers coming with their apology, and everybody in FGC was like, oh wow, this is a Japanese developer apology, that's just so unusual for them to apologize. This means that, they really feel sorry. And even I bought it. Even I was like, man, probably they have learned their mistakes. Maybe going from Season 3 onward, maybe that's where we're gonna go into a more conventional Tekken, and back to basics. That's what we have been promised. But no, all this was a lie. All this was just the fake stuff, maybe created by a marketing team. They were like, okay, guys, you need to apologize now to re-earn the trust of the community. And here we are. So just like in Season 2, where they promised us a more defensive approach, a more defensive update, more defensive season. So now we're in Season 3, and they promised us back to basics, refined balance, more conventional, more deliberate. All those appear just to be buzzwords, unfortunately, okay? But you have to realize that the only reason, right, or one of the main reasons why they started actually reluctantly taking some steps towards defense after Season 2 crash out is because major content creators, right, were actually quitting Tekken. They were quitting making content about this game, they were quitting playing this game, right, and I'm sure they dragged many players away with themselves. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but that was, in my opinion, one of the major reasons. And yes, I'm referring to Mirio, I'm referring to Misplaced Stuff. I'm sure there are more people, maybe just a bit less known to me specifically, but I'm sure there are more people, I'm sure. Okay, and that's where the developers were kind of panicking. They were like, okay, we actually need to do something, guys. That's not good for business because we think about money, right? So, because we need to stop feeding into hopes that like, okay, guys, another season, another patch, another patch, another patch, another patch, another patch, another season. Because that was our approach after season 2, right? Where they released like, I don't know, 3-4 mandate patches reluctantly. And when we realized that there is no more patches coming for the remainder of season 2, right? We were like, okay, season 3, season 3, season 3, season 3. So now we're at season 3, and what now, guys? Another patch? Another season? Season 4? Like, my question is, like, for how much longer are we going to wait for this stuff? Right? Because the thing is, like, we're also, like, by our patience, which in my opinion has been insane, we're sending the developers the wrong signal. Like, okay, no matter what we do here at Bandai Namco, like, these guys are still going to continue playing the game. You know, we just need to keep on feeding them lies, because this will keep them playing the game, right? So, they had, like, this one small bit of trust that we had for them after season 2, and now they wasted even this. So I'm not sure what kind of lies will they have to sell to us to regain this trust, or at least rebuild this little bridge, right? So we need to just break this idea of the developers, like, okay, no matter what they do, no matter what stupid BS patch they will release, we will continue playing this game, and we will continue making content about this game. So my point here is that if we're out, the game is out. And then the developers will be unhappy, because if we're not there, the game will die, right? And no matter how many characters they will release, we are not coming back if the balance is trash. So they continue trying to sell us some stuff, you know, some costumes, stupid battle passes which have almost no value, and it's good that they are cheap because there's almost nothing to them, you know, in terms of items. So like they're trying to feed us something, right? But the thing is, like, if the game is trash, if the balance is trash, we don't want the game. Okay? But the developers, they don't think so. They think that whatever they do, we will continue playing this game. So that's the idea we need to wipe out as the community. So my point here is that we need to stop making content. We need to stop playing this game, and we need to stop talking about this game. That's when the developers will realize, okay, so now we're on the actual frying pan. And again, like, you can say, oh, well, Voice of Frenzy, why do you play the game? Well, first of all, if I leave the game with my, like, I don't know, 70 followers, they're not going to care. They're not even going to notice. Who am I? I'm Mr. Nobody, right? So I'm self-aware. But, like, what if someone like Mayman Sui stops streaming this game? Or stops talking about this game? Or someone like FDX or King J, they just quit Tekken. They're like, okay, I'm done. I'm not streaming this game anymore. I'm done. So like the community can let me know when this game is fixed, but until then, I'm done. Imagine if Mayman Sui does this, or if FDX does this. Because Mayman Sui, he just made the announcement like, okay, I'm gonna start streaming the variety of games, I'm gonna start streaming other games, which is cool, right? But then he was like, oh, but I still gonna continue making content about Tekken. And then I was like, no, that's not it. That's not it. I'm sorry, but like we need to stop making content about this game and continue the conversation about this game. Because so long as we do this, the developers, they will continue with their approach, because they will have this delusion of we will just continue waiting until season 7, and then they will continue feeding us this like, okay, guys, defensive patch coming now, for real, for real. So we need to stop doing this. We need to stop talking about this game. We need to stop streaming this game until they actually step it up. They just disavow their delusional approach to this game of more offensive gameplay. And when they actually meet our expectations, which are not crazy, our expectations are actually quite humble, just going back to basics, going back to ideology and to the elements that make Tekken Tekken. Okay? So that was my message to, all those major content creators, which in my opinion have the cards right now. They have the power, they have the influence to actually make some change and address the developers. But the thing is, like, we continue making content about this, we continue talking about this game, we continue making content, we continue generating profit for this, developer team. And that's bad, because we just making them favor for no reason. And we know how the Bandai Namco treats their community. They're firing the legacy commentators for no reason. They're letting go of the pro level players. Joker just recently announced that he's leaving. He's no longer competing for this game. They're fine with this. Content creators are leaving. They're fine with this, just so long as the casuals are coming to the game. So we need to stop making content for this greedy team of developers. So we need to stop doing this, guys. Okay? And that's how we will make them work. That's how we will make them fix their mistakes. Otherwise, we're not gonna do anything. Otherwise, we'll just continue playing along with their stuff, right? And then don't come surprised that like, oh, season 4, oh, did they buff everybody again? Yeah, gee, they did. So as of now, I will be trying to phase Tekken out of my channels, out of my content. I'll be discovering other games. I mean, maybe there's some games that I'll enjoy more than Tekken, or at least as much as Tekken. That's not going to be easy, but I'll have to try, because I want to enjoy a game, because that's the primary goal of playing games, which is to have fun, not to be sitting and sweating and freaking, like losing your mind the whole time, So I'll just be trying to have some fun, and I'll be discovering other games. So let's see. I mean, I have a few options, but, let's see. So right now, it's just very sad because I don't see any prospect of improvement. Because for me, Tekken has always been the cool fighting game in regards to addressing different skill ceilings, right? Hardcore players, who like execution and, really difficult and sophisticated gameplay. And, then intermediate and then, beginners. But right now, Bandai Namco seems to be focused primarily on beginners. So that's very sad, right? So I encourage you guys to do the same, TMM, PDX, King J, Moonsault Slayer, because you guys have the influence. You guys have the cards. If you're gone, they will panic. I can assure you they will panic. And don't worry about your content. We will still continue watching you. I mean, I'm sure Mayman Sweet did not suffer because he streamed, I don't know, Requiem, Resident Evil Requiem for a few days. No, I mean, people were still watching him. So no matter like what content are you going to be making, if it's still entertaining, if it's still funny, we're going to continue watching and supporting your channel. But you need to use your channel as a weapon right now. You need to use your channel as the weapon and stop playing along with this nonsense. I'm not saying you guys are doing this deliberately. I'm not calling you shills and whatever. No, by no means. Because I'm passionate about Tekken just as much as you guys. But the thing is, like, the only way to fix this game is just to drop this game and stop talking about it. Just phase out any conversation about this game. That's how we can fix this. Okay, so these were my points about the current situation and just my message to people who have some actual effect and some actual power in this community. I hope I'll be heard. I hope this video will spread forward, so that more people who have some influence, they can listen to this and consider this. So yeah, thank you and see you in the next one, guys. Bye.